Alright, so today we want to be looking at, we're going to have an objective. Our objectives are going to be centered around our imports and exports. So we're going to be looking at importing and exporting CSV files, and we're also going to be looking at the create table as statement. So this is where we're going to be looking at how we can actually get data from a data analysis firm. So maybe as an example, they could give you data sets to work with, such as extracting valuable insight from that data using SQL. So we're going to be seeing how you can be able to work with data as CSV files. Alright, so our objectives for today are going to be importing and exporting CSV files, and we're going to be looking at the create table as statement. Alright, so why is this part important? So now companies will be giving you data. They don't expect you to write a table and start inserting data one after the other. They will just give you already made data. So all you would have to do is to just create the table that match each column of that data set, and you need to and all you have to do is just to transfer the data into your already created table. So that's just what you need to do. So importing data from a CSV file. So what does that actually mean? So what does that mean? So importing. So this simply allows us to send data from a CSV file into an empty table in PostgreSQL. So you get a CSV file and you transfer data from that CSV file to an empty table in PostgreSQL. So now, in order for you to get started with that, you want to just minimize your pgadmin, minimize it quickly, and you want to go to your Windows operating system screen, your home screen, and you want to, now that folder we created when we started the course, the program, you want to open that folder and you want to create a CSV file inside. So mind you, we just have our SQL file that we have been writing all our code in. So you right click on the body and you come here to new and you click on text document. So I'll just call it import. Then you want to come here and remove this txt and change it to CSV. So what does CSV stand for? So CSV stands for comma separated values. So it simply means that each value inside this file would be separated with a comma. So now you can also access a CSV file using your Microsoft Excel. It works the same way. But CSV simply means that you are separating values inside this file using a comma. So you want to open up the file, right click on it and go to open with, and you want to use your notepad, open that up, and you want to start typing away. Alright, so I would increase the screen, I would increase the size of the text so that you can see it properly. So I would say name, comma, school, course, and let's just say age. So now you notice that I am separating them with a comma. That's all that matters in order to make it a proper CSV file. You come down here, I will not be writing much data. You can decide to experiment with a larger data set if you want to. You say school, then Oxford, and the course can give him chemistry. Then you can give him 27. Then you can say James, then Stanford, and biology 31, then David, then Yale mathematics, and give him 26. Alright, so these are my data sets. So name, school, course. So you can see that when I create a table in SQL, it will have this column will have variable character, character variant, and an integer. Alright, so you want to minimize or you want to close it if you want, depends on you. I will just save it. I'll close mine. Yeah. Alright, so you want to go back to your PG admin. So click on your PG admin. Now we want to create a table that would allow us to gain access to that CSV file. So I'll come here and I'll say create. So create table, import T, open a parenthesis. So now of course my table will have a serial number so that it can be numbering it automatically. So now one thing to note here is that it's not compulsory that your CSV file, boy, I made a mistake here, so I need to close that. So CSV files can be opened with Excel. I think I said that already. So you can use your Excel to open a CSV file. So the default opener is an Excel. So you just use a notepad. Alright. So it doesn't matter if I use a column name here and I use a different column title here in my table. It doesn't matter. What matters are the data inside that my CSV file, the format. Is it character variant, integer, boolean, timestamp? Regardless, it's just trying to know exactly what type of data you are working with. So I'll just use it. Doesn't really matter, like I said. So I'll say character variant 50. The next one will be obviously school, course, and age. So school, character variant, course, character variant, age. Alright, so I've created my table. So you just run that and you get your table created. So now in order for you to view your table, now I would explain this, although I'm not supposed to because this is strictly for data analysis. This is how you can use SQL for data analysis. We don't really have any business with all this, but you will need to know this anyway because it will give you an advantage. So schemas, this is another environment inside an SQL database that allows us to be able to hold our tables and all our commands. So it allows us to hold our tables and all our commands. So you want to scroll down and you want to refresh. You want to refresh this. So I'll just right click on it and refresh. Alright, so now I want to come here, look at all the tables that have been created. Alright, so now I created a table called import. That's the name of my table. The table is called import, and in order for me to have access to the table, you just right click. So now if I want to send data to this table, I'll have to right click and I'll have to come here to import export data. So you click on that, then it will automatically show you this screen. So now if you don't get this screen, as an example, all you simply need to do, don't panic, just if you don't get that screen, if you get an error, if it tells you something like binary path not found, all you simply need to do is to come here to file and you need to come here to preferences. When you click on preferences, you come down here to paths. You scroll down here to paths. You see binary parts, you click on binary parts, and you want to scroll down. So the version of PostgreSQL that we are using is PostgreSQL 14, and you just have to locate these parts in your file explorer. So you just want to highlight it, control A, you press control A to highlight everything, then control C to copy it. Then you come here, you click on this folder, click on the folder here, that icon, and it shows you this. Then in the search bar, you just click here and you just say control V and you press enter. So it takes you to the binary part. Alright, I do not show you this. It won't show you this, but this is what you want to locate. This is what you want to locate. After you have, in order for you to get this, you will need to come here to your file explorer. Anyway, you need to come here and you will need to, in the search box, you just paste it there, Control V, and you press enter, and then it automatically takes you to the location where your cluster is. To save you all the stress, you want to just copy that. You want to copy it, and after you have located where your PostgreSQL was installed using that part, you want to copy it and go back to your, what's it called? Come back here to your pgadmin and you want to paste it here. When you paste it there, highlight everything, Control V, you want to click on save. Then when you click on save, you want to close and you want to come back here to import, right click, and you want to run that again, import export, and once you click that again, you can now be able to see this window screen. So that is all you have to do. So since I'm importing from that, since I'm trying to import from a CSV file to my table, you want to click on import. So when you click on import, you now need to locate where that CSV file is. So I'll click on this folder and you can see that it has automatically brought me there. But in case it didn't bring you there, since your CSV file is on your desktop, you want to click on your desktop and you want to go to your SQL folder, click on that, then you see your CSV file, click on it, and then you click on open, and it will automatically put it there for you. So you want to leave everything just the way they are. You want to come here to options, you want to leave everything to just the way they are, and you want to come here to columns. So now what is telling you this is it's telling you columns to import. Now if you check your CSV file, if you can remember, we did not create a serial number. There's no serial number there, so you are not importing a serial number. But the reason why it is showing you a serial number here is because your table has a serial number. So it's trying to ask you in case your CSV file also has a serial number as well. So mine doesn't. And even if yours did, it's going to be conflicting with the automatically generated numerical values from your serial. So it's not a good idea to put a serial number here in your CSV file. I hope that makes sense. So you want to close that and you want to click on OK. You give it time, then you wait for it, then it has completed in sending all the data. So it has just sent everything here to this table right here. You didn't have to say insert into and start listing the values. You just have to just write the CSV file, locate where it is located, and from there transfer the values from that CSV file into this table. So in order to see the fruits of our labor, you just say select asterisk from import T. Now this would allow you to get the result. You want to close this, you want to close this as well. So you import everything. Now you face play. Now you will discover that it will give you everything inside the table neatly placed. You can see we have everything from our CSV file, and of course our serial number has generated numerical values for them. So you can see that these were just the values I transferred from that CSV file here. Now what if we are given a project whereby they tell us to extract data? So they tell us to extract data from the CSV file they've given us. whereby they want to just get people that offered only mathematics alone. So we can see that here we have just only one row of a person who did mathematics. So this is where our create table as statement would now come into play. So this is when, or this is where the create table as statement would come into play. So how are we going to do that? So now, what are we going to do? So now I want to be able to do this, create another table from my already existing table and send that data to another CSV file. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, so the create table as statement allows us to create a table from another table. So all right, so let's get started with that. So how do we intend to do that? So I'll just say create table. So you come here and you write that. So create table as. All right, so you say create table. I'll just call it import t. Sorry, export t rather. So export t. Then you now say as. So as, then you now select what you want. So I'm selecting everything from my import t, and you create a condition. You see where cost is equal to mathematics. So automatically I'm creating another table from my import table, whereby I'm selecting only the people that offered mathematics. So from this table, I will now export or send the data to another CSV file. So let us create the table first, then we can be able to see the result before we can now send the data. So now you can now check it to see if the table exists. So you say select everything from export t. So you select everything from that table and you click on play. So you see that we get only one row as the result. So we have only just one row, the person that offered mathematics. So in order for us to send them back their data from the data they gave us, so we are assuming that our initial CSV file was given to us by a company and they told us to extract people that did mathematics alone, which is what we have just done inside another table. So we want to now from that table send them back their data. So you want to go back here, click on your folder that has the import CSV, and inside that folder you want to create another file, another CSV file called export CSV. So you come here, you see export, you delete the txt, you see CSV. Yes. All right, so we have, so now you just leave it as an empty file. You minimize. Now you want to, now the same thing, you want to refresh so that you can see. So you want to, so now we've created our export CSV. Don't forget, we want to now see it here. We cannot see it here yet because we have not yet refreshed. So you want to come here to tutorial, right click, and you want to refresh. You say refresh your database, and you want to check your table. You discover that we have our export table now. So we want to now send data from that table. So I'll just come here, click on it, then you right click on it, and you come here to import export data, click on it, then you want to click on export this time around. Now because that my CSV file is empty, I can also decide to export, that is send the serial number part to it. So what does export mean? Exporting a CSV file. So this simply allows us to be able to send data from an SQL table into an empty or contained CSV file. So now since I'm trying to send data to my CSV file, which is called export, you just click on the folder icon and you come here to export. So mind you, if it was not already here, you want to navigate by clicking on desktop, and you want to look for your SQL, the folder we created when we started the course. Click on export and click on see, and you say yes. To ask you, export.csv already exists, do you want to replace it? You say yes, and to now put it there. So now you can decide to click on export, leave it at CSV, come to options, leave everything just the way they are, come to columns, and you can leave everything also. Then you click on OK. Then watch it send it to the empty CSV file. Alright, so it has completed everything. So in order to check your work, so if you can remember, the CSV file was initially empty, but I've just sent data to it. So you can open it now, right click and come to open with, and you will now see the result you just sent. So you can see, because we also said header as well, if you can remember, we said serial number because we included the header here. Let me show you something. So when we clicked on export, when we clicked on export, so we came here to columns here, the options first rather, and because of this header simply means the column headers of our table, the headers, serial number, name, school, and course. So that is the reason why you are seeing all these here. You are seeing serial number, name, school, course, age, before you now see the value that you inserted. All right, so with that being said, that brings us to the end of this data analysis series. All right, so I hope the subsequent videos and the previous videos were clear enough and you could understand them. So just in case there's a part that is not too clear to you, please feel free to reach out. So till next time, until we meet again in another series, have a very good day.